Hey everybody, how y'all doing? It got a little cold out here pretty quick. We were working, um, fixing the steps, and I'd been messing around with solar panels and getting our solar panel system going all day long. So, and Nikki was prepping a garden, so we had a pretty full day. But it got cold. I think the temperature once the sun went behind the mountains, the temperature dropped about 20 degrees. So we went from about a 65-degree temperature to down to about 40 pretty quick. So we ceased all work. But I kind of wanted to talk about what's going on back home. Well, not just back home, but even here in New Mexico, in other parts, in all parts of the world right now with this virus going around. I reached out to some friends yesterday, a couple of real good friends that I consider friends, and just to see how things were going back home. And you know, some of the reports weren't too good. A lot of my friends are losing their jobs, or they're at risk of losing their jobs. And I mean, I understand that this virus is contagious and deadly, but I've been following this since December. Yes, the virus when it broke in December back in China, in Wuhan. I have been following this pandemic um, pretty deeply, almost obsessively, because it wasn't just the virus that was creating an issue for people. There was also an economic collapse about in the workings, and this virus is kind of thrown fuel onto that fire. And a lot of people, I mean, I can't think of anybody, maybe one or two people that I know that are actually aware of the economic crisis that the world was in prior to this virus um, taking its toll on economies. I mean, we're talking global economies. And I was never into economics or anything like that, but for something led me to start to follow economics, and I started stacking gold and silver pretty obsessively too before this virus broke. And now you can't even buy gold or silver um, on the market because it's all gone. It's all wiped out because those who are economically savvy know that there's an economic crisis that has been coming but is now here, and we're about to go into the greatest depression. Not the Great Depression. The Great Depression was nothing compared to what we're about to go through here in America. We're up here in the mountains of New Mexico because I caught on to it, and I had to get away. I could not watch my whole life deteriorate because governments and banks and corporations wanted to rule us as slaves, as debt slaves. And if you think that the world is going back to the way it was before this virus, it's not. And I don't know how to explain that to people. I don't know how to make people understand that what you're seeing right now is the end of America as you know it. It's the end of America as far as freedoms go. The end of America. I mean, there are people who haven't lost their jobs yet that are about to lose their job. 10 million people have applied for unemployment this week alone, and I don't see that as a good thing. Um, and this virus isn't what caused it. It's the debt that this country and other countries are in. There's so many uh, uh, trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars that are owed to the central banks and to the Federal Reserve. I don't see any way that this is ever going to be good again. So my warning to you as somebody who got out of the system, and I'm going to tell you, I got out of the system. I didn't get pushed out. I didn't get kicked out. I jumped out. I got out of there because I know what's coming. And anybody who cares about their future, about their life, about their family, about their freedom. I mean, your entire freedom, the Constitution is being chipped away at little by little by little by little, and nobody seems to care. We're losing all our freedoms. You know, I follow so many different people on on YouTube, and you know, one of the guys that I follow is Ice Age Farmer, and he lets us know about the food shortages that are going on. This guy knows what he's talking about when he's talking about agriculture, animal and plant agriculture, and the way these corporations, and who the hell is Bill Gates? Why is Bill Gates part of deciding what I'm going to eat and how I'm going to live and whether I need to be vaccinated or not? What does Bill Gates have to do with any of that? He's not an elected official, but he's a rich son of a bitch, and he's got a lot of money and a lot of power, and he's about to ruin your life. And if you don't savvy up to it, you're going to be Bill Gates' little minion if you can survive through the starvation that's about to come to America. You know, when you begin to outlaw the sale of seeds, yes, they shut down all the gardening sections at the Walmarts and Home Depots and all the home improvement. The gardening section, gardening, growing your own food is not essential. So if food is an essential item, what is? Because the grocery stores are open, farming is not an essential occupation right now. So farmers, ranchers, they're not essential occupations right now. So who's going to grow your food? Who's gonna butcher your cattle? Who's going to bring meat and chickens and pork to the market? It's not going to be the farmers, because they're not essential. They've been told to shut down slaughterhouses, and they've been told to shut down picking crops and planting crops, and where's the food going to come from? Well, your food's going to start coming from a lab. It's going to come from the minds of the techies who want a world of no animal agriculture and strictly lab-grown food. So enjoy your lab-grown food, because they've outlawed the sale of seeds, and I don't understand why outlawing the sale of seeds is necessary, especially when we're in a crisis, especially when people are losing their jobs, especially when people don't have money, and the food getting into the store. If you want to avoid a virus, what better way than to grow your own food or have access to somebody who grows food on their own, rather than going to a crowded grocery store with people who are absolutely not wearing any protective gear whatsoever, who are just doing their job. So how this makes sense to me, and why people think that things are going to go back to the way they were before, you're living in a fantasy. It's not going to happen like that. That is not going to happen. Your lives are about to change in a way, and I don't care who you are. The goal of this new power who has taken over the globe is wipe out the middle class and let's let the rich rule. And that is what's coming to America. And if you aren't aware of it, and if you don't believe me, that's your problem, because I have warned as many people as I can who would even consider listening to what I have to say. Like I said, I'm not making this stuff up. All this stuff and information is out there. But if you're sitting there waiting to be told what to do, how to do it, why to do it, when to do it, and who to do it with or who to do it for, you're going to suffer miserably. And I can't put it to you any better, in any better terms than that. If you are not awake and aware right now, or by now, then you are the people that are going to suffer, and there is nothing anybody can do for you. Try to go buy ammunition. Try to go buy enough food to stock up your refrigerator for a month or your pantry for 3 months right now. You can't do it. It is frowned upon or even regulated as to whether you can buy enough food to go into a 3-month hiatus. Go try to buy ammunition. You can't do it. There's very little ammunition left. So gold, silver, and ammunition, your wealth preservation and your security, your food, it's all being controlled. Look at your medical. Try to get sick right now. If you were to get sick or if you were to get injured, how easy is it going to be for you to get treatment? Your whole world, your kids are out of school. The events are shut down. This isn't going back to the way it was before, folks. It's just not going to happen. And I broke away from it. I'm one of the people who was awake and aware. Me and Nikki knew what was coming, and we prepared for it. And all I can do is warn you, and either heed the warning or suffer, because there's no in between. There's just not going to be an in between. The goal is to wipe out the middle class, and if you can't see it happening around you, you need to open your eyes, because it's happening, and it's going to happen. We're not even at the peak of this yet. This has only started 2 weeks. We're only 2 weeks here in America into this mess. It hadn't even peaked out yet. So once it starts peaking out, all bets are off. The oil field, the farmers, the workers of small businesses, and my friends who own small businesses, completely shut down. And you think that they want to take a loan and get back into debt to make these bankers even richer than what they are now? They're feeding off of you and the money that they're sucking out of you through your tax dollars to stimulate this whole crisis, and you're just letting it happen. And I don't think that if you're awake right now and if you're not aware right now, there's nothing you can do about it. You just need to wait for it to get bad and see how long you can endure it, because frankly, there's no turning back. There's no going back to the way it was. So my words, my thoughts, I've been told, I've been informed, I've read the articles, I've listened to those who read the articles and put the articles out there, and who have tried to warn society and the public about what's coming. And these aren't my thoughts. This is real. This is happening. And if you're not awake, wake up. So that's all I got to say on this, because I could go on for hours with the information that I have inside my head. Like I said, I've been following this since December, the economic issues since September. So, it hadn't gotten any better. It's only gotten worse since. So I don't see it getting any better anytime soon. So take care of yourselves, man. And I hope that you wake up and you're aware. And by all means, we have to fight for our freedom. We have to protect the Constitution. If we're not protecting the Constitution, then they're going to take every freedom that we have from us. And if they don't take it, they're going to cause us to take it from each other. Liquor stores and gun shops are still open as essential necessities right now. Now, you put those two things together and you put a bunch of chaos together, and you're going to find a whole bunch of people fighting and shooting each other up. A lot of suicide, a lot of divorces, a lot of depression. It's not going to get any better, folks. So this is my warning to you. Either wake up or pay the price.